with me on.
Any thoughts about that, and where the conditioned blind spots are that we could be working with together?
Wow. We could talk days on that one.
I know. We can
And I think
seeds.
it's kind of intertwined, like it's these tattered threads that we've woven into the tapestry of embodiment that we need to unravel. And what's coming up for me is that we hold to this notion that to share our traumatic stories, to unearth these challenges that we've been faced with through our life and the life of our ancestors, will be just so overwhelming and bowl us over. And if we bring it back to what Marie just shared, if we can do this together, it's not so challenging to share that deep, dark secret. Because we've got this circle of women that get you, that understand you, that can resonate with the story that you're letting go of, to the point where grace comes in and moves it out without reliving it. I think a lot of women feel that to deal with their trauma is to talk the story out for the next 10 years and relive it until finally they're not triggered by it. And I know that that's not necessary. Through my own work with women, I know that that's not required to heal our deep, dark secrets.
What is required?
What's required is to have an experience of our own wholeness, our own beauty, our own light, which is possible. We can be led into that frequency of our being. And through the support of another woman, another person, it begins the presence of that person being fully present to what we are diving into. It simply begins to move and shift and return, so that we reclaim the power of what was fragmented due to that challenging story. It's like the person holding presence for us hands us a bowl of pure water and says, "Here, drink." And we can just simply drink it, and it fills our cells, it fills our energetic body with this remembrance of purity, where, it's like shifting through the mud in a river. The silt just settles and starts to sparkle. I think that's the beginning place, is to be with someone or a group of people who can hold presence for us as we tune into it, where it's being held in our body, and it dislodges the crystallization, and it just begins to melt and fall away. It sounds simple. It can be challenging to be in the body in that moment, but it passes so quickly that more often than not, we can't grab hold of it again, because the beauty and the light is filling the space. The power is returning. Yeah. So we need that direct experience.
Yeah, in the body, in the field, the collective field,
yeah,
that amplifies it.
And I think the only place, I don't think, I know the only place that we can do that on our own without the aid of another person, for some of us, is in relationship with nature, like to immerse ourselves in a forest and sit down on the bedrock. For me, it's a rock. It's got to be really solid and ancient to really sit there and just surrender. And then what I've just described can take place. But other than that, I think we need another compassionate human being to hold sacred space and to witness us with their presence.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is it's the presence. It's the presence of the creatrix, life itself, whether that's through a rock or another human. But there has to be enough of a emptiness in the other person without their agendas. That's why it can be more challenging, I think, with humans.
Yes, good point.
If
Yes.
they're all that conditioning and agenda is coming in, it clogs the field. So
Yeah,
doing our own work allows us to be that kind of presence.
the open vessel. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Marie, do you want to add anything to that? And then just watching the time, I'll ask one more question, then we'll start to wrap up.
I think there is definitely a body of secrets that the divine feminine can uncover. And I think it happens intuitively. Because I think most of us would love to have like a one-size-fits-all solution for every question we have in life.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what gives us strength as women is that we know the answers come. The answers come to us intuitively. And if we are two or more together, I think this process becomes a little bit easier, because I think we just have it in us that even if we've never dealt with a specific question before, if we dive into ourselves, being this vessel that tries to discover where can we find an answer to what this person is looking for, we will discover something. And if we have no hidden agenda, and if we take ego out of the equation, I do believe that every time we will find an answer. And this is something that is totally against what the male system has taught us, that the answers are actually within you. The answers are within you and within me. And when we are together, it is so powerful that we can actually have solutions to all our questions.
Yeah. When we let go of our secret shames, then the deep secrets of our wisdom can rise.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that is part of the huge power of when women come together. And we've forgotten that. Because we focus so much on what you said. We focus so much on competition and jealousy and all these things.
Right.
But we forget, if we subtract those, we just sit still and accept ourselves the way we are. We have so much power. And this is what some of the men that we know are scared of, because they somehow know this. They, in some instinct, they know if a woman can be extremely powerful.
Yeah. Being with our whole body wisdom is so powerful, no matter what gender, but particularly, I think the piece that's standing out so strong for me. And I hope that you guys will come back so we can do, you gals. That's the funniest term in America, you guys. I'm just aware that that came out of my mouth. I would love to have you back, because I think there's so much more here. But Hualani, you just said, I can't remember the exact language, but like, we can't really touch that unless we remove these layers of shame, which is why I have such a strong desire to bring women together to talk about the shame, to talk about how it feels to be threatened and jealous and feel less than, and give our power away to try to please people or take power from other people to try to prove our value. I mean, certainly men can be talking about the same thing, but there's something so potent about actually normalizing that our brains do this, not just because of our lifetime, but our ancestral and the collective mind control that has happened with the feminine understanding of one another.
Absolutely.